everyone. It is Sunday night and we are coming to you live from inside of Bat City Comic Professionals in Bradenton, Florida to help you wind down your weekend. As always, I'm your host Shannon Live, aka Small Press Shann, here to get you excited about every single small press and indie book that came out this week that you're definitely going to run out to a comic book store and pick up immediately. But before we can talk about the comics, we can't wind down our weekend without some wine. So this week we are drinking Troublemaker. And I always like to be 100% honest with you. Not gonna lie, I've had Troublemaker before. But it was Matt and I had it on our anniversary, and we were like, this wine is really good. And I have to give you the backstory because that's what we're here for. So if you watch the show regularly, you know that our good friends at Ghost Machine, Brian Hitch and Jeff Johns, and Danny Ward, the coolest, sent us a bottle of Austin Hope previously, and we were like, this is so incredibly good. Well, Austin Hope also makes the Troublemaker wine, and so when Matt and I went out for our anniversary and we were like, oh, we don't know which wine to get, what should we get? We saw that this was on there and we were like, you know what? Brian Hitch would want us to have this wine. And so we grabbed it and we were like, this is really good. And we were like, we should take this to everybody on the show. So here we are. This is, you can actually buy it at Costco. That's right? You got it at Costco? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So it's, again, as always, like not like an insanely expensive wine. It's a red. It's just a red blend. It's not in any of the categories. So, you know, it's going to have a lot of different things going on with it. This is a younger year than the one we had at dinner, or it's the same year? Okay, cool. And then, yeah, this is one of the few, like, California wines that Matt is like, everybody should try. So we're sharing it with our live studio audience today because our buddy Anthony is visiting and we're very excited. But yeah, so we're going to try this. It smells good. It smells
rich.
I was going to say it definitely smells rich, yeah. It always tastes like almost like I'm at a barbecue. Wasn't it mesquite or something that I was saying that I tasted on it last time?
I think so.
Yeah.
Smoke?
Yeah, it's like a smoky flavor. Anthony, you live in Texas. Does this remind you of a mesquite barbecue? I'm putting you on the spot a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, you like can get that like little taste at the top. It's
right in the beginning.
Yeah. And then it fades into like a nice like subtle wine after that, but it's nice. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. It's a nice wine. All right, we're going to be drinking this throughout. If you are joining us, let us know in the comments that you're here. We actually have if you haven't met Katie yet, we actually have Katie on comments tonight. So she's going to be responding to you, making sure, you know, if you're watching live that she knows you're here and hanging out. But if you are watching later on, don't forget to like and subscribe because you're probably on YouTube. So make sure you are doing that so you can see us every time that we post those videos up so you never miss what new indie and small press books came out. This last week at Bad City, we didn't really have any crazy things going on other than the fact that like New Comic Book Day was awesome. But coming up this week, we've got a lot of big stuff. This Wednesday night is going to be our monthly zine night hosted by Katie. If you've not been to one of Katie's zine nights, I don't think you've fully lived. And this one particularly is going to be bat themed. Katie is going to be bringing the themes for you each month and helping out with like the organization. We'll also have Kelly, our zine librarian friend from the Ringling College, here as well to help with any guidance on anything. It's also so that's going to start at 6:30 on Wednesday here at Bat City. It's going to be awesome. You don't want to miss it. Even if you're like, hey, I don't know how to make art, one of the cool things Kelly taught us at our zine nights very early on is that some zines are completely birds. And we actually just saw a really cool one that our friend Monica from C organization did. That's a poetry chapbook that she just collaged the backgrounds of. So you can make your zine look like anything you want. And we're going to talk about one-page zines. We're going to make a collab zine about bats. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're not going to want to miss it. Then on Thursday night, we've got book club, Fresh Start Book Club. That is the adult book club. We are reading Snot Girl #1. No, my issues did not arrive. So if you need it, we have trade paperbacks that you can come in and read. Issue 1 here and just get started. We also, I have one upstairs. And then we also have It's on Hoopla. I was like, what was the other thing I was going to say? It is on Hoopla. So you know what? It's National Library Card Sign Up Month. So sign up for a library card, get your Hoopla, and then read Snack Girl on there. And then come to book club and fall in love with the story. And then what else we got? This Saturday at 11:30 and at 3:30 is comic creation workshops for the kiddos. Those are free, fun, exciting events for kids to come out and learn how to make their own comics. And yeah, there's a whole bunch more going on this month. If you haven't checked out our Instagram and our Facebook to see those events, make sure you are doing that. And as I've said, every Sunday for the last month, if you don't have September 27th on your calendar, make sure it's on there now, because that is Local Comic Shop Day. We are having a zine fest. It is our Bat-tastic Bativersary, which we always celebrate. It is going to be 3 years of being in Bradenton and 7 years, starting our 8th year of being Bat City and having this awesome comic shop. So it is going to be a fantastic celebration. We've got a lot of zine makers and creatives that you haven't met before coming out, and a very special guest will be signing a release of a comic on that day. It is a local celebrity that you are going to want to come get that book signed. There's a huge announcement coming your way. I'm just saying, one of the coolest local celebrities will be here signing his first ever comic, and it's gonna be a great time. I know, we're like all excited. Yeah. So make sure you have September 27th on your calendar for everybody. You know who it is. He's fantastically fun. Yeah. I wish you guys could have just seen Katie act out who it was. It was really great. I wish I would have recorded that for a special guest, because he would have loved to see that dramatic interpretation of who he is. All right. So there's a lot going on. Make sure you've got that September calendar locked and loaded on your phone so you don't miss any of our Bad City events, because there's so many great ones. Should we also show off the things at the end of the stream? The bookmarks?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you want to grab some of those? Okay, we can do that at some point. Yeah. All right. Well, we also have got some comics to talk about. So, I'm gonna talk about comics. I'm taking another drink really fast before it gets jammy. It is jammy. It's opening up to jammy.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's not as like filmy jammy. Like, it doesn't leave like the coating on your mouth like some jammy wines do, but it does have a little bit of that jam going on. All right, we're going to kick this off with Sam and Twitch Case Files, issue 17 from Image Comics and the Spawn universe. Again, I say this every time we talk about these books, but if you are not somebody who reads Spawn, that is not going to stop you from reading this book. And this is one of the best detective stories that's on the shelves. This is about Sam and Twitch, who are both police detectives who live in the universe of Spawn, but they are actually, we're not going to see Spawn at all in this story. And they have been working on this investigation for a while, where something has happened and people are taking these weird drugs off the street, and they are starting to kind of lose their minds and go crazy. And allegedly, in the line of duty, Twitch shot one of them, and he has been put on leave as they do an investigation. And now it's up to Sam, who is not known for his calm demeanor or his ability to do an investigation purposefully, to actually solve the situation on his own. But things have gotten a little crazy and a little haywire, as Twitch's wife has started working for the very corporation who is creating the drugs, and something terrible is going down. And so now Twitch has been drawn back into the case, and Sam and him are going to have to team up once more to figure out what is happening. Seriously, so intense. You're gonna want to jump into this, and it's this second arc of this that has had that story. So if you didn't read those first 6 issues, that first volume, you'll be totally fine. Phantom Road, issue 15 from Image Comics. This is the wrap-up of this story arc. We're not going to see any more Phantom Road until early 2026, at the earliest. But this is the story of a really weird paranormal experience. Basically, there is a group of gas stations, a chain of gas stations and restaurants, like old diner kind of experiences, that if you go inside of them, you end up in a parallel universe if it calls to you. And in that parallel universe, there's these zombie style creatures, and there's been this mysterious egg that a truck driver and a young woman have been tasked to sort of protect. And in that kind of world, we eventually figured out what was inside of that egg. And now we've been following these two detectives who their story takes place not linearly to what we've been experiencing so far, but we see them actually going through that portal and working to solve the case both on the old side and this side. And it's very fascinating how in this volume of this arc specifically, like Jeff Lemire has really showed us that the timeline is completely and totally chaotic. And the way he wraps it up in this final issue for this arc literally leaves you on some major cliffhangers and completely warps your mind on everything that you thought was going on in Phantom Road. And so now you get the satisfaction of waiting 6 to 8 months for Jeff Lemire to come back to tell you what actually happened in that terrible cliffhanger. And so good luck with all of that patient waiting that you're going to have to do. We've got Flash Gordon issue 11 from Mad Cave. This is their ongoing title for Flash Gordon. It's going to bring back a lot of your classic Flash Gordon style storytelling. What I love about this book, though, is that Jeremy Adams did not want it to be an origin story, so we just jumped right into some big action for Flash. And now 11 issues in, we are in the middle of it. And we are, of course, seeing Flash battle Ming, and Ming is absolutely determined, as always, to take over the world. Flash has teamed up with his own team, but also a couple of people from throughout the galaxy, including Ming's own daughter, and they are determined to figure out how to take over and stop Ming, who's really actually finally got his empire starting to grow the way he wants it to. Meanwhile, evil Flash Gordon is also here, and they are having a big battle for that, and it's kind of like who's gonna win and who's actually like going to be the ultimate Flash Gordon. I'm just really excited that Dale's back. We've been working for most of the series to bring Dale back, and a few issues ago we were able to actually get her in here. So it's nice to have our leading lady in here kicking butt and reminding Flash that even though he's the big jock's turn superhero, he's not necessarily the one to always lead the team because he doesn't always make the right choices. But we are going to see a big change in Flash because he now believes the only way to stop Ming is to kill him, and that has always been against Flash Gordon's code, and so we're going to see whether or not he goes through with it as the story progresses. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 11 from IDW. If you watch the show, you know that I absolutely love this Turtles line. It has been so good. It's definitely my favorite thing Jason Aaron has ever written. And we have been at this point where the Turtles are under fire. They are actually currently on trial because the district attorney, who is the big bad guy, an extremely corrupt guy who's using the Foot Clan as his own side police department and just kind of rounding up any mutants in whatever way he wants, they are actually in the middle of this court case. And if you read issue 10, you know that Donatello was supposed to be representing the Turtles and refused to actually do anything other than constantly pass up his turn. And they've been telling him they needed to do something. And in the beginning of this, the judge calls for them to actually call their witnesses, and Donatello refuses to do so until suddenly everybody from New York, the entire city, comes to stand up for the Turtles and start fighting for them. But this entire issue is told from District Attorney Hell's point of view, and we actually see him completely and totally losing it because he figured out that just being a terrible politician isn't enough to get you anywhere in this world, and eventually you do get your comeuppance, and sometimes it's some mutant Ninja Turtles and their friendly reporter friend that are going to reveal all of the tapes and journals and lists that will take you down. We've got Rockefellers issue 8 from Image Comics and the Ghost Machine universe. This is such a fun book. If you are a fan of Super Sons and you are not reading Rockefellers, this is really going to give you that same vibe, especially because it is Peter Tomasi and Francis Manapul working on it together. But this is all about a family from the future who actually worked to invent time travel, but specifically invented it for the purpose of essentially the witness protection program and ways to keep people safe from other, like, people who wish them harm. Well, they themselves are actually in danger, and so they use their own technology to go back in time, which just brings them to our time period. And family hijinks ensue and adorable stories, but in this issue, we actually learn so much about the family dynamic in the future. We get to see every piece of the puzzle, the grandparents, the siblings, the in-laws, and what they created and what kind of led to some of those good guy, bad guy roles within the family, because this family is way more dissected, and a lot of that is revealed in this issue. And seriously, this is such a fun series. Again, one of those perfect, like, every age can get into this book kind of situation. It keeps it really, like, Tomasi is working, and Francis Manapul are working really hard to keep this as something that, like, even those, like, 11, 12-year-olds can enjoy. And so if you're a family and you're looking for a good book to read together, Rockefellers is definitely that. We've got Tin Can Society, issue 8 from Image and the Giant Generator imprint. We are getting close to the end of this, and I don't understand how. Like, the back of the book is staring at me with blazing fireworks, telling me that the next issue is the final issue, and I 100% believe that they are lying to me, because there's no way you're going to wrap this up in one issue. But if you don't know, Tin Can Society is about a group of people who were kind of all the loners in high school and found them each other, and then they end up creating, like, their own little secret society that says they're going to, like, protect each other forever. One of them goes on to create some very advanced tech that they all seem to have some weird connection to that we've learned about over the course of time. And we have been, after a murder occurred of one of the group members, they have all been unraveling each person's connection to not only the tech but to each other after years of not talking to each other. And now they're all back together again, only to deal with the fact that this evil corporation is trying to come after all of them for the materials that their friend created. And this issue is kind of our big action-packed adventure of how they are out trying to protect everything that they've created, all of their friends, and a certain young baby. And who knows? Again, I don't know how you're going to wrap it up in one issue. You say you're going to. It needs to be a double-sized issue, because I already don't believe you. If you leave me on a cliffhanger and tell me, just kidding, there's another volume, I'm not going to be surprised. Silverhawks from Dynamite. This is bringing back one of our many, like, 80s, 90s cartoons that are hitting the shelves right now. And this is issue 7. We are well into our journey, and basically what's been happening is this is a new generation of the Silverhawks. The original ones are old and retired, and their biggest villain, Monstar, has come back. He has escaped from prison, and he is ready to destroy the entire galaxy again. But they need somebody to come in and actually help protect the galaxy. And so they recruit new members of the Silverhawks to come in and do just that. And they are just kind of starting to get their footing. They had some extremely big losses and some extremely moderate wins as they were trying to find Monstar. But I love this villain in this one. He's like a galaxy casino owner, and he's all kinds of shifty and shady. And he's mad because he pays Monstar's goons to, like, protect his casino, but his planet still got blown up, and he's like, how is this fair? What am I paying you for? Like, if you're gonna if I'm gonna be paying you to protect my space with all of my winnings, then you should actually do it. And so we're starting to see some disruption between all of the bad guys as the good guys are finally starting to get it together. So maybe we'll actually see some kind of victory coming the Silverhawks' way. You got to read it to find out. Speaking of old cartoons coming to life, we've got Thundercats Lost, issue 6, also from Dynamite. This is our Thundercats side story, one of many side stories to the Thundercats proper. But if you're reading Thundercats, you know that they have been on Third Earth after Thundera has been destroyed, and they have been trying to kind of make their way there, and they keep seeing these remnants of the fact that, like, other Thundercats have been on the planet before, and they're not really sure what any of it means. Well, we are, because we are reading Thundercats Lost, and so we know exactly what happened. We know that there was an original group of Thundercats who went out before they left that were supposed to be checking to see if Third Earth was habitable, and that if they could move the Thundercats there, because Chitara had visions that were making everybody nervous. So they went if you're reading the Thundercats proper, you know we've had a little bit of a crossover moment in there, and I don't want to spoil that just yet, because if you're not reading this one yet, you don't need to know what that is. But this issue kind of brings us a big pirate adventure. Who knew there were pirates on Third Earth? I didn't. But the Thundercats in this series are actually captured by some pirates who are hoping to gain the bounty and maybe possibly have to walk the plank. Who knows who's going to win and who's going to lose between the pirates and the Thundercats, but what is lost will someday be found, I'm sure, as the Thundercats and the Thundercats lost will continue to cross over. We've got FML issue 6 from Dark Horse. This is such a fun book. If you are into like just that alt culture, if you're into zines, any of those kinds of things, if you're into music, this is one that is definitely going to appeal to you. Kelly Sue DeConnick is crushing it with this, and shout out to Kelly Sue for being the keynote speaker for Rose City Comic Con this last week for Retailer Day. That was so cool. But this series is all about a mom who has a bunch of kids, a couple kids, and they're dealing with a lot of things, including the fact that her son turned into an actual monster, and the son's band discovered a dead body, and they were accused of the murder, and now they're possibly, gonna go to jail or something. But also, we have some bigger issues because there's been more dead people since then. We are starting to see multiple murders come across this poor, just trying to get her life together mom's desk. She is a comic creator who has been struggling with her next story, and now it is the conference that she is supposed to be speaking at that is starting to see all these people die. And in this issue, we finally get some clues and start to solve what the murder might be, but Dad steps in, a lovable, adorable dad, trying his best to do great things, and he really just makes everything worse, and it's absolutely adorable. And if you don't read this book as if it's Kelly Sue DeConnick and Matt Fraction, go back and reread the whole thing in their voices and with their personalities, because it absolutely fits so well. It's such a great experience when you put that little comic twist on it. But what's really cool is there is always the awesome back matter, the top 5 list, the create your own kind of issues and stuff like that. There's always a second comic or something back there. So this one had some top 5 issues and some pet stories in the back. I guess it is top 5. It's top 5 list. Some people name their top 5 best songs to get you into this band kind of thing. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that just keeps that zine kind of feel going, because Kelly wants it to feel so organically comic. So it's such a good series. Adventure Time issue 5 from Oni Press. This Adventure Time story, I always preface it, I had an Adventure Time expert read over it and tell me that it kind of takes place in its own universe of Adventure Time. There's some things that are current in continuity. There's some things that aren't. So you're just going on a fun little adventure in some time. And so this follows as Jake and Finn are actually trying to figure out how to get their hands on the magical book that teaches you how to be the best adventurer. And they need to find Billy in order to do that. And they have been struggling very hard to do that, because every time they go on an adventure, they actually end up getting distracted by somebody else that they can save. And in this one, they actually had somebody give them the guidance of where they might be able to go. And it ends up that Billy is allegedly back where they started from. And they're like, how did he get there? And why is he there? And so when they do go back, they learn that there's something a little off about Billy, but they do learn exactly where the book they need to find is. And after a big giant fight between Jake and Finn, we're going to see a split up of the team maybe as they go their separate ways to figure out what the best way to be an adventurer is. And you are going to figure it out when you read it. Captain Planet issue 4 from Dynamite. If you are a Captain Planet fan and you love the old 90s cartoon, you need to be reading this. It's so much fun. It just feels so Captain Planet-y perfectly, but also with that little modern twist. And so as the story has gone on, the Planeteers have gotten their rings. They've come together. They have fought their first battles. They have lost those battles. They have brought Captain Planet forth only to lose him, and all they really need to do is find out who has Gaia and where she is. And they're not doing so well as a team. They've already lost one of their members. Wheeler has gone off and decided that he, in his hot-headed ways, needs to go off and find his own way to be a hero. And unfortunately for everybody, he is dumb. And feels like the way to do that is by joining up with the very guy who is the bad guy of the story. And so this issue picks up with them trying to figure out, what do we do? Because Wheeler has made a terrible choice. We're kind of all in destruction, and we need to figure out where Gaia is before it's too late. And they kind of do that, and they start on their path towards finding Gaia. They come up with even more problems that they're going to face, and some new, bigger problems erupt as the story unfolds. Ghostbusters, Dead Man's Chest, issue 4 from Dark Horse. I feel like summer was for pirates, and we have had a great pirate ghost story, which is always fantastic. And so in this uses the cast of the new Ghostbusters movies. So if you were a fan of those, you should check it out for sure. If you didn't watch the movies, I didn't either. No reason why. I actually just haven't gotten around to them. But this uses that cast, and you don't actually have to know anything about them to keep up with the stories. They are self-contained stories. And in this one, they have moved to New York. They are living in the old Ghostbusters fire station. They are funded by Winston. And they have just met Ray as somebody who can give them some advice. And we find a ghost pirate has come back from the dead. He is very upset about the fact that the town of New York treated him so poorly, and he is here to regain his family's honor and take back his son, which is a descendant that he's trying to kind of like take and claim as the son who is not a son, and is very upset about the fact that this ghost is trying to put that gendering on them in that specific way. We get to see the Ghostbusters come and learn how to work as a team, and also how to work as a family. We get to see some beautiful family dynamics from other characters as they learn to accept and love each other the way they are. And we get to see ghost pirates. So it's everything you could want in a fun summer read. Get all 4 issues because it wraps up here now, and finish out the summer strong. We've got Champs of the Apocalypse, issue 3 from Dark Horse. Everything about this book is fantastic in all of the ways that you would not have expected it to be. It is such a great satirical apocalyptic story, but this is about 3 women who are trying to make their way through the apocalyptic wasteland that they live in, and men just keep ruining that. And in this battle that they were recently in, they met this man who was like, you have to find the mysterious artifact that will take down all of the evil men and the corporation that is creating these like specimen, literally, like they're creating men who are absolutely supposed to be like the most perfect men, and they are absolutely terrible and ridiculous. And these women are like, we have to stop them. This is the worst thing about the apocalypse is these men. And so they've been trying to find the map. They have the map. This guy is the only one who knows how to read it. And so they've been working their way towards this place. And we figure out what the artifact is that can stop all men in this issue. And I will not spoil it for you, but it is the greatest thing that could ever possibly be the man-stopping artifact in the world. I'm so excited to see this epic battle between these women. They are on their quest to definitely get to a point where they can use this magical artifact to stop the men. And seriously, just read this book. It's so great. It's so wonderful. And if you want to know what the artifact is, or you want to talk about it, just, message me on the internet, because if you want to laugh about it as well, I'm here, because it's the best. I sent it to like 8 people on Snapchat today because I couldn't handle how great it was. Don't Run with Scissors, issue 3 from Keen Spot. This is from our team that did Don't Spit in the Wind and Love Me. So the art is fantastic because it's Stefano Carselli, and Francesca is going to write you a fantastic story. And this is definitely another one. This is them doing, a horror book. And it is all about a police department that finds a young girl who is covered in cuts, and some terrible things have happened to her. And they bring her in and they kind of evaluate the situation, and then when they send her home, they immediately find her again wandering the streets in the same kind of dangerous situation. And they have brought her back into the police station, and whatever this dark entity is that is trying to gather her and cause these problems in this town, we finally get to see a little bit of it. And it is creepy and it is weird, and I don't think anybody in this town is going to make it out alive. So it's going to be great. But if you just want to see wicked cool art and a creepy horror setting, you definitely need to grab Don't Run with Scissors. Bitchcraft, issue 3 from Mad Cave. This is your friendly neighborhood witch story. I feel like we don't have enough of those on the shelf right now. But this is about 3 friends who are their own coven, and they're very young. They're like 20s, literally. I think they are like exactly 20, 21 maybe. And they are learning witchcraft, and they are really good at their job, except for when they're not. And so in the very first issue, they accidentally blot out the moon and the sun, and basically just leave us in a terrible place, and kind of let the bad guys know that witches exist. And so they start people coming after witches, and we find out that there's this evil society of like angelic people who are out to destroy all witches in the world. They have ended up in an alternate realm, the realm of the green in here, and so thankfully they have a green witch with them who is actually going to help guide them through this land, because the guardian of the realm is not very happy. But they need to figure out how to get to the Lady of the Lake in this issue, because she is the only one who can help them figure out exactly how to stop these angelic guardians who are coming after all of the witches. And we get to see this big adventure. We also get to see a lot of them kind of learning how to communicate with each other and talking about the things inside of them that they haven't necessarily communicated before. And we get to see some cool new characters added to the mix. And where the journey is going to lead us next is going to be really great. It's a lot of classic witchcraft put in a very like Gen Z way, which is kind of cool. I'm going to hold it back up. It's kind of cool because we don't see a lot of conversation about like Gen Z, like learning about witchcraft, and Gen Alpha. And so it's kind of cool to see like Gen Z, how they view the witchcraft concept in that sense. All right, I'm gonna do a couple more, and then I'm gonna grab some awesome Troublemaker because I feel like it's had some time. We've got Sisterhood from issue 3 from Image Comics and the Ghost Machine universe. This is such a fantastic book. This is our first full story spin-off from the Hyde Street universe. You do not have to be reading Hyde Street to actually read this book at all, but it is kind of going to connect back to that in some ways, and you might want to read Hyde Street anyway just because it's fantastic. But in this issue, or in this story, it is about 2 girls who are the absolute bestest friends, and when they get to college, one of them decides she wants to try new opportunities, and so she decides to pledge a sorority. And while she is in her pledging rush period, she's actually hazed until she dies, and that is terrible and tragic, and hazing should never happen. And so her best friend, who's like, I need to do something about this, starts seeing the ghost of her friend and is like, it's my job to be there and support you and everything. And she's like, well, if you want to support me, you'll go after the sorority sisters who killed me. And she's like, well, which ones is that? And she's like, all of them. And so she's like, you have to pledge the sorority and help me take them down. And it starts out as like a simple, you have to help me take them down kind of situation. I'm not going to show you that spot. It starts as a simple, you've got to help me take them down, but it ends with some very gruesome murders starting to happen, and we are seeing those murders escalate and get more and more rapid as the situation goes on. And there are some angry ghosts going on here, and some even angrier people, and that friendship is getting really rocky right now because it turns out, not everybody wants to be recruited by their best friend to murder a bunch of people. Who knew? I'm going to take a drink now, actually. All right, so we're drinking Troublemaker. Again, it's an Austin Hope wine. It is an affordable Austin Hope wine. You can get it at Costco, and it's very delicious. Are you still trying to learn how to smell things over there, people? I'm like laughing at y'all like every time y'all like reach up and smell.
Anthony downed his whole glass.
Nice. There's more.
Helps me out here, right?
There's more, Anthony. It's right here. You can have some more. That's what it's there for. All right. While he's getting some more wine, we are going to talk about Thundercats and the Powerpuff Girls, issue 3 from Dynamite. If you didn't know, the Thundercats and the Powerpuff Girls were crossing over. Now you do. And this is such a fantastic crossover because this is the Powerpuff Girls getting pulled into the Thundercats universe, and all the Thundercats have gone missing except for Tigra. And he has needed their help to kind of figure out how to find all of his Thundercats friends. And so each issue, they kind of discover some kind of weird creature and like rock thing, and they're like, oh, this must be a Thundercat, and the Powerpuff Girls are the only ones who can figure it out. Meanwhile, the Powerpuff Girls have lost their power while they enter into this world, so they can't get home. So they kind of are stuck just helping the Thundercats with what they need. And it's really adorable because they all have these great experiences. We get a nice lesson from Chitara on how it doesn't matter if you have your power, you can still be a hero. And then they are in this one trying to go through this cave, hoping to find Lion-O and get the Thundercats back into proper formation. But it's really hilarious because it's Powerpuff Girls. So they tie a string on each side of that, like one, like Tigra ties a string on him and Chitara ties it on her, and they're supposed to only call if they're in danger, but of course Tigra just keeps playing with the ball of string. And so it keeps getting Chitara to run back. It is absurd. It's ridiculous. It's the crossover you didn't know you need, but you definitely do. We're 3 issues in. The Powerpuff Girls are still stuck there. We'll see what happens. It's just fun. It's just hilarious. It's so good. We've got Illuminati issue 3, and this is from, is it for AWA? Yeah, AWA. This is such a cool book. This is all about a woman whose sister is murdered, and she is trying to figure out like who actually is responsible for the murder. And so what she does is she goes to Hollywood, where her sister was working as an actress and a musician, and kind of gets mixed with all the people. And so she's like, well, I'm going to get involved with all the same people that she got involved with. Well, so she does that, and it leads her down a dark path, and they're already trying to like hook her up with some people she can do music for, and some people she can work with, and she's like, okay, I'm all connected. But it is also leading to people getting beat up on the side. It is leading to some dangers. She is in extreme danger herself, and in this issue, we get a character who comes in who's like, hey, I know everything you need to know about the death of her sister, and you are going to help my sister solve this problem and figure out who actually killed me, and I'm going to help you along the way. But oh my gosh, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be awesome. If you guys haven't read this yet, it's got just enough like horror and detective work like blended together. It's got a really cool concept going in there. We've got Tex Arcanum issue 2 from Dark Horse. This is I'm not gonna lie, when I read issue 1, I was like, I'm not really sure if this is gonna be a book that I'm interested in. And now with issue 2, I'm totally way more invested in this. It is one of those like heavy read books, like there's so much going on to it, and I think that's what's drawing me in actually now. But this is about a guy who is essentially, his job is to go around and solve supernatural murders and experiences. And so he gets called in whenever something supernatural is going down, and he has been called into a place that is kind of got like a Hatfield and McCoy situation going on. There's 2 long-running families in the area. Both of them are magical, and they have been in a feud for a long time, and there's a lot going down with everything that's connected to that. But recently we have seen some murders happening, and so he is investigating one of those murders. And in this issue, he's actually trying to figure out with the sister of the man who was murdered in issue 1, he's trying to help her figure out who's murdering people on her solar farm. and what's going on, because she believes that there's these demons out there. And when he is in the process of figuring that out, a whole big mess of more stuff goes down, and it just opens up a whole can of worms that is going to take this book to an even bigger level. What I do like the most about this issue, and what I think drew me in, is he actually gives his whole backstory in this issue and runs you through the course of time with all of the people in his family that were magical, and how they found somebody else, and all of the darkness that came from like being in this magical family, and yet how it all like spirals down to him. And so it's really fascinating how much magic they put into the story. And now that it's not entirely focused on what it looks like at the Texas-Arkansas border, I can enjoy the story more, because it always pulls me out of the book when the geography is wrong on Texas books. I'm like, it's a very big state, everybody. Like, but I can get into it way more now. Quill Universe, issue 11 from volume 2. This is from Oni Press and their EC Comics imprint. This is an anthology, so again, you can always just pick up this one. In this one, we have 3 stories. This is their sci-fi anthology, and so the first one is all about a journalist who is investigating the possibility that a man who runs his mouth a lot on the internet about conspiracies may have found an alien. And he is determined, he's like, I can't show you pictures, you'd never believe it. And so he's like, I've got to show you this alien in person that I found. And we learned that he has been dissecting this alien and using it for different things. And where does he go, and what does the journalist respond to that, and what is the takeaway of the EC story is such a cool little twist. And then the second one is all about a man who is imprisoned, and he's the only thing he has is this mysterious like ham radio, and he's talking to this girl on it, and he can just keep hearing her voice, and he's supposed to be being rehabilitated by this prison, and he's like, I just have to get out of here. I have to get out of here and save this girl. She's in danger. Like, she says her dad is abusing her, and there's some darkness near her, and I have to go and save her. And he does get out of the prison, and what he discovers along his journey is completely and totally twisty-turny awesomeness. And then the last story in here is actually from Chris Condon, and it is all about AI taking over, specifically AI taking over the role of the artist. And you actually see this AI robot is creating a painting that he is literally siphoning the skill out of the artist's brain directly. And he literally talks about how, well, when we started doing this, we just took it from you and the things that you like posted around the world, and now we can take it directly from you, but all of humanity is destroyed. And we get to see the artist kind of fight back in the things that the artist wants to say. And it's Chris Condon saying everything he wants to say about how AI art is terrible and how it's taking away from actual creators. And so if you only read one EC short this week, definitely make sure you read that one, because it is so hugely impactful and really good. And the way Chris did it is like a perfect EC story. Can we just give Chris Condon more EC books and stuff, because he nails them. We've got Ancestral Recall, issue 2 from Ahoy Comics. If you haven't jumped into this one yet, now is a great time to do it, because we're on issue 2, so you can still get that issue 1 and get caught up. But this is the story of an old man who is he's an artist himself, and he relies on his wife to take care of him, and she relies on him as well. And one day she goes missing, much like a lot of other people from the community. And he's like, I have to find her. And the only person that can help him is the neighbor girl, who is a photographer who just really is always like over at their house trying to like get him like to, you know, teach her about art and things like that, and just wants to hang out because she thinks these older people are cool. And she's like, I can help you, sir. And so they start investigating what happened to his wife June, and as they're doing that and they try to take down this evil corporation, he starts to have these visions of experiences that other like people who have created something or who have established something throughout Black history have had. And so like in this one, he actually doesn't know how to drive a car anymore because he is an old man, and she doesn't know how to drive a car at all, and they have to drive all the way to another city. So he has this vision of the first Black woman who was a race car driver teaching him him how to drive the car, which is super cool because he's like suddenly like a race car driver instead of just like driving down the street, and he's like losing it, and it's awesome and amazing. But they have so many great experiences. You get to learn a ton about Black history, and it is, they are putting so much in there that's fantastic. And then at the same time, in this issue, we're actually seeing moments from the future and learning about what this evil corporation's actual like end goal is, and really getting to figure out like what is going on with this timeline, and yet becoming entirely confused about what is going on with this timeline all at the same time. The turn in issue 3 is going to be so good. I don't know what it's going to be, but whatever it is, it's going to be so good because you have built such a strong platform with 1 and 2 that wherever this is going is going to be phenomenal. And Ahoy, as always, just bringing us the best like thought pieces in their books. We got Look Into My Eyes, issue 2 from Mad K. This is a big murder mystery gone wild, honestly, in this issue. Issue 1 kind of gave us the story of RJ, who hates everything normal about society, wants to be analog in a very digital world, wants to be very, like, again, like, damn the man, save the empire kind of situation. And one of their former best friends, who's kind of become one of the popular kids, has gone missing. And RJ seems to be the only one that truly cares, not just for the social media likes. And RJ's been covering all of this in their zine that they put out, and that zine has gone a long way to cause a lot of problems for a bunch of people. But there is a new social media app in town, and everybody is on it, and that is where we're seeing all this stuff happen. Well, that one murder mystery has turned into a lot of people dying and a lot of stuff coming out. And I don't know if this is going to connect back to the social media or if we're just using it for the platform, but we are definitely getting some monsterific things happening in this issue. And it amplifies and escalates things so incredibly quickly that if you read issue 1 and you were like, oh, I think I know where this is going, I promise you that you absolutely do not. The other thing, and I don't really want to show you like the last page, so I'm gonna like do this in a really weird way, but we're gonna cover that so you can't see what happened. But at the very bottom of the page, one of the things they do is they constantly put these QR codes that you can go and see things like the social media. At the end of this one, they actually put, and the end of the last one too, they put this QR code, which will actually take you to RJ's zine. And so if you want the in-universe zine that RJ is creating so you can get the rest of that story, you can actually get it through that QR code, which is really cool because it is just a digital zine that's got a lot of the fun stuff, and then it's got the buried in things. And it definitely builds on the universe a lot. So if you're wanting one of those books that's just got tons going on, Look Into My Eyes is definitely going to give you that. And again, I have no idea where it's going, even still. We've got Blood and Honey. This is a one-shot from IDW, and this is insane. This is all about a couple that seem to be, like, they're essentially in high school, even though they look much older than that, but they seem to be, like, the perfect couple. She's the captain of the cheerleading team. He's the captain of the Knights. It's not really fencing. They're using like actual swords and like actually like fighting, but they live in a castle. So there's a little something like, you know, mythical to it. But the thing about them is that they've both like really come to the point where they kind of hate everybody else because they think that nobody else like works as hard as them, and they think that nobody else actually like really is trying, and they're like, everybody else is just not as good as us. And that kind of starts to taint their own relationship, because then they realize that they're like each other are always just only focused on being the best that they can be, and also kind of hateful to each other. And so they realize though that they've told each other that they could only be together, they would be together until they die. So they've determined that the only way to end the relationship is for one of them to die. And so the entire book is them trying to figure out how to kill the other one. And it's like brings them somehow closer together and yet further apart the whole way through. And it's kind of just a great, like, this is what happens when you don't like ask the other person what they're actually thinking, and just kind of assume. But the over the top, like the ways they try to kill each other just get like bigger and bigger and more ridiculous. They start bringing in everybody else into their problems, and It's just absurd in the best way, honestly. And it's a oh my gosh, what did he call it? He had a really good name for it, and I'll have to check at the end. Oh no, that's not the one yet. This isn't the one with the really good name for it. But yeah, horror, romance, death, craziness, you know, it's all there. It's all waiting for you right here in this one single issue. The Adventures of Lumen, issue 1 from Dark Horse. I love this because this is bringing out some like fairy tales and fantasy stories that we don't get to see used in books a lot. And so it's focusing on a young girl named Lumen who is being raised essentially in like a palace, and she's being forced to learn all these different things. Like she's got to learn like 7 different languages. She has to learn politics. She's needing to learn how to fight and defend herself. And she really just wants to be a kid, and she wants to be able to hang out with the young boy that lives in the palace and just play hide and seek and not have to do all these lessons. And she kind of wants to also know like what's going on. Like her family, her mom is, you know, died when she was young. She's got her dad who's the one that left her there, and she's like, what is going on? Like, why am I here? What is the point of this? What is my dad trying to teach me? And one day a bunch of people attack the palace, and she's got to work to fight with all of the people at the palace who are trying to get her out of there because everybody seems to be after her. And what's so special about Lumen, we still don't know, but we do get to see some teases into what that could be. And honestly, it is that last cliffhanger page that really sold me on where this story is going. So make sure you read the whole thing. All right, this one's for you, Katie. Monster High, House Hunters, because I always got to put the Monster High in there. This is issue 1 of a new 5-part series, I believe, from Monster High and IDW. I'm so excited that we're doing some more Monster High series. But in this one, the gang is going on a vacation. It's Frankenstein, Dracula, Claudine, Cleo, and Laguna Blue, all excited to go to a scare B&B where they are going to have a nice weekend away. And what they love about it is that it's actually supposed to be one that like normies go to, and they all think it's super haunted and creepy, and the girls are all like, yes, that means it'll just be perfect for monsters to go to. There's probably just a monster who owns it or something. Well, they get to the house, and they decide that they're going to redecorate it because it's not scary enough, and that there's nothing monstrous about it, and they're so excited to actually fix it up. And in the process of doing that, they unleash some things that are even too big for them to handle, and we're gonna see exactly how that works out for them. I'm so excited. All these Monster High books have been great, and I hope that we just keep going. IDW, thanks for getting the Monster High licensing rights and putting out more Monster High books, because I don't know why Monster High has been gone for as long as it has, but we're so happy it's back. All right, we've got Closer. This is also a one-shot, and this is the one I was trying to figure out what apocalyptic romance. That's what Kieran Gillen called this. If you're a fan of Wicked and Divine or the Power Fantasy, this is a one-shot from Kieran Gillen that is from Image Comics that is fantastic. So also, if you're a fan of the Carpenters, this is great. This is all about a woman who is brought in by scientists to research experiences around her, because basically they bring her in and they put her in a room full of birds, and they have 50 birds in the room, and when they take her out there are 53 birds, because birds suddenly appear every time that she's near. And they start to go through all of the different things from the song, and we see some flashbacks of her and this person that she used to be in a romantic relationship with, who just really wanted her to marry him and to have the experiences, and she was like, that's not me, I'm not into that. And so we get to see what happens, you know, when that doesn't necessarily work out, and when somebody just wants to be closer to you, like the stars falling from the sky and all of the other wonderful things that could happen. Put the song on, the song close to you, you know, get excited about it, and read this book, because it is absolutely hilarious and wonderful. And it's not even supposed to be hilarious, it's just hilarious if you know the song, and I think that's like the humor that goes with it. But it's also really a great commentary on like, hey guys, when people say no and that the relationship's over, it's okay to just move on. It's really fine. This is, you know, sometimes it doesn't work out, and that's okay. And, you know, read this for closure. All right, we've got Romanus Magicae, issue 1, and I do not even remember the publisher. It is, I still don't know. It's another small, Cambrian Comics. This is, I got this through the massive indies in like sub distribution, so I couldn't even remember what publisher it was. But this is gonna be a really fun way to look, a really fun Roman Empire story. This is all about a guy named Marcus who was in the SPQR, the Roman army, and he has since then like left. He fought in like the Germania and was like over there, and all of his unit was killed, and so he's kind of just become a drunken guy living on the street. And when he is kicked out of the bar and told that he needs to find another place to go, he ends up seeing a young woman who is being attacked by some men on the street, and he decides, you know, I'm going to go help her. Not necessarily trying to do the right thing, just doing the thing. And when he goes to help her, he finds out that these are actually these monstrous creatures, and he is captured by a society of people who are protecting this woman, because it turns out that she has a secret power that is necessary to them in order to protect many of the people of Rome, but also to figure out like what exactly it is this future holds for all of them. And so this is just now opening up, really establishing a great cast of characters, as this book is going to lead us on a very big adventure where he's going to have to make a lot of choices. Honestly, if you like Redcoat, this kind of has that same like anti-hero feel, but just in ancient Rome. Sabrina the Teenage Witch has a new one-shot. This is giving us a classic retro cover. This is the Teenage Witch Magic Unleashed. This is the issue 1 cover of Sabrina.
Splash page of Madhouse.
Is it Splash Page Madhouse?
I believe so.
I thought it was also the cover of issue 1. Is it not?
It might be.
It might be. I don't know. Now I could be wrong. It could just be that first introduction of the first appearance of Sabrina. It is the first appearance, I believe, of Sabrina. So it might just be the Madhouse cover or Splash Page. Who knows? But inside there is a news story. And this news story is all about Sabrina trying to figure out how to stop an epic team up of 3 evil witches who are trying to amplify their power. And in the process of amplifying their power, they cause a rift in the like space-time continuum, and people are starting to break through. And Sabrina realizes that if they can open up a portal to another dimension, that might be the best thing she can do. And so she actually does the same to bring in some other people to help her. And then we get another story that is called Frostbite, which is all about Jack Frost coming through Sabrina's window and trying to turn her freezing cold, and make apparently in their world, if Jack Frost nips at your nose as a magical person, you have to help him create winter. And so Sabrina has to deal with Jack recruiting her for a frosty storm that she has absolutely no desire to be that blue over. And then we get one that is an older story about Sabrina entering a cooking contest and trying to convince Harvey that if he picks her pie or whatever dish that she makes, that he'll get to go on a date with her to eat it. And so hijinks ensue when a mysterious other force tries to ruin that. And then we get a story of Sand, Sea, and Spray, which is all about Sabrina and Harvey at the beach. And Harvey wanting to see the magician, who is one of those like ridiculous like party magicians. And Sabrina hates them because obviously it is a mockery to everything. And she ends up in a big battle with Mr. Misto. And just really just tries to take him down for all of the embarrassment that he causes her in the experience. And then I believe there's actually one other one. Oh yes, where Sabrina accidentally leaves her potion that she creates lying around in a perfume store while trying to get a bigger bottle for it, and Betty and Veronica think it's a perfume and use it and end up causing themselves to have a ton of bad luck and also smelling just absolutely terrible. So you get a ton of stories in here. I don't feel like we get enough Sabrina collections outside of the digest. Like, even we don't really get Sabrina digest right now. So the more Sabrina, the better. And if you love Sabrina the Teenage Witch, it's not out this week. But if you are reading Archie versus Minor Threats, also from Dark Horse, you could get a great Sabrina-led story that also teams up with the Minor Threats. Skin Police is back with Volume 2, Issue 1, also from Oni Press, out this week. This is something you're absolutely going to have to read Volume 1 to read. This picks up literally at the fall of Issue 1, like literally, or Issue 4 of the last days. Like literally, the guy is still falling from the end of the last issue. But this is a world where basically human cloning has started to exist, and the clones are what they call dupes, and the dupes are, they're trying to get rid of the dupes essentially because they get to a certain point and they just kind of explode, and it's dangerous and terrible. And so of course the government who created them is also trying to destroy them. And we have a guy who is a police officer on the force that's always been supposed to take the dupes out, but has now actually realized that there's something going on with the government and what is all happening, and maybe these dupes aren't as bad as he was told to believe. And so he is kind of in the middle of that investigation and joining up with the resistance team at the end of the last volume. And this is picking up with that and him kind of at this point where he is actually making that stand and really trying to join into that resistance. And he's seeing that other people are getting suckered into it in ways that he really hopes that maybe he can stop. But really great sci-fi, Philip K. Dickey kind of world. If you want to jump into that, grab Volume 1 before you start this. I'm going to show you this, even though I don't think we have any left. So it's not a pick of the week because I don't think we have it left, but it would be a pick of the week if I hadn't already sold this copy that's in my hand. So this is Artificial, issue 1 from Image Comics, and seriously, even this one is sold, so don't look at it. Don't get excited. But we will have to get more if we can. But this is all about a woman who kind of is at the top of her game. Like, she gets a new promotion in her job. She's very excited. She's ready to, just kind of enjoy that experience. And she decides that she is the one thing she needs is to, go on a date and find a good match. And so she does, and she goes on a perfect, wonderful date. Can I show that page? I can show that page. That's just kissing. She goes on this perfect, wonderful date with this guy who builds the most wonderful world and experience for her. And then she gets to decide if she would like to subscribe to continue the relationship, because he is actually an android, and she got him through their dating site, which is basically you get one free date as a tester, and then if you subscribe, you can continue your dating relationship, and for just enough money, you can continue it with him remembering you from the first date. She is not sure, of course, what she wants to do. She goes out with some friends. She has a fun night, and one thing leads to another, and she is definitely like, I think I need this artificial boyfriend. And if you've ever seen any movie where somebody dates an artificial boyfriend or girlfriend, it doesn't end well. And so I know this is not going to end well. I know going into it, it's going to end up terrible for her, especially when you hear the rules, which they have the whole rules in here. And there is a whole thing where you have to set up your safe word and all kinds of stuff. And you're all of these things are going to come back to be very important and very terrible, and I'm so in and I'm so ready. Once again, as always with Maria Lovett books, this is for adults and adults only, because it is full of a lot of nudity, but it's also robot nudity. I don't know. It's we'll see. Either way, adults only. I'm going to take another drink of Troublemaker before I talk about the other picks of the week. Also, I'm going to move this over because I wasn't kidding. I already told somebody else that they could have that, and I don't want to forget. All right, so we've got 3 picks of the week. One of them, a lot of you have come in and mentioned. I hope you all went home and read it because it's very exciting. I'm a huge fan of Jacob Phillips as an artist, so I'm just really excited to see how this book plays out. But this is Everything Dead and Dying, issue 1, and it is from Image Comics. And I'm really excited to see where this goes. This is actually Tape Rumble, but it's not considered Tiny Onion. So I don't know why, but it's not. But this is the story of of a man who's a farmer, and he is telling us this beautiful story of like his whole life. He's telling a story to his daughter at bedtime about how he met the perfect man and he developed this beautiful farm, and they had this amazing experience. And then thanks to a really amazing angel friend, they were able to have a baby, and the girl's like, "That's me, Daisy," and she's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah." And then it's this beautiful, wonderful experience that they had together. And, you know, the town finally started to like him and accept him and his husband and who they were. And he's got a friend who's the postman who comes every day at the same time. It's just like this cute little town and all these experiences. But the whole time he keeps having these reoccurring nightmares, or at least we think maybe they're reoccurring nightmares, because he keeps saying everything's wonderful and everything's great, and then it isn't. And then we learn exactly what is happening. And if you don't know what this book is about, I'm going to slightly spoil it, because this is not a happy book. This is actually a horror book, and things are scary and terrifying in here. And I don't want to show you any of the terrifying pages because I don't want you to know exactly what it is. But Everything is Dead and Dying is the title of the book. So there's a lot of death and a lot of darkness. But the way Tate wrote it balances so perfectly, because it goes in between those, like that story and that happiness, and then flips to those dark moments. And you're like, which one is the now and which one is the dream and which one is the past, and where is this all going? And he layers it with like the experiences of like his family life and growing up and how that impacted him. And it's just a really multifaceted story that is opening up something really well, and Jacob's art just does a really good job of conveying like the difference in those moments so quickly and so rapidly. Absolutely pick it up. Definitely need to check it out. Again, I had a lot of people come in and ask for it this week, so I hope that all of you read it, because it's going to be a great series, and you're gonna be like, oh man, on issue 3 you're gonna be like, why am I not reading this? And I'm like, I don't know, I told you on issue 1 you needed to get it, so get it. But we've got Black Diamond issue 1 from Panic. This is the second book from Panic. If you don't know Panic, they came out with Tama, was their first release, which was all about a Tamagotchi that goes crazy. This is another hit for them. Like, honestly and truthfully, like, let's just start adding Panic to your pull list now, like, because everything that Panic's gonna put out you're gonna want. So let's just do that. Just tell your local comic shop that you want Panic. And this is a story of a guy who decides to take his son on a ski trip, and it's just him and the son, and they're on this trip, and he's kind of not a great dad. Like, he's like constantly like preoccupied by like the son is like, I don't want to do ski lessons, I want you to teach me, I want to go up on the hills with you. And he's like, you can't do it, you're too little, you have to go to the ski group. And then they go to the ski group and they're like, well, you're late, you missed it, so you don't get to go to ski class today. So the dad's like, okay, I guess you have to go with me. And while they're on the lift, the son drops the dad's cell phone, and the dad, thinking his cell phone is the most important thing, leaves his son up at the top of the mountain and goes down the Black Diamond course to go and actually look for his cell phone. And when he comes back up, his son is no longer there. And what happened to his son and where he is and what is going to happen from then on is a bunch of spoilers. But we are building like so much tension. One of the things that this book did that Matt and I have talked about, and Anthony Pizzo have talked about this week, that's really cool, is when they're on the slopes and it's like, oh, we're out skiing and we're having fun, and also we're surrounded by snow, all of the gutters are white and almost non-existent. And so it looks like a snowy scape the whole time you're there, and it gives you that bright, positive experience. But when you're in those moments where the dad is panicking and where something like could be happening, you actually get these like black gutters that really make everything stand out intensely. And it's such a cool way of just really showcasing that there is something dark and you know, dastardly coming your way in this story. Seriously, pick it up. The intensity will keep you on the edge of your seat the whole time, and you're going to be very excited, and you're not going to want to miss it, because this is going to go. And yeah, it feels so good. Yeah, it's so nice. It's got a really thick, soft cover. Panic, man. They're going for it. I love it that their slogan is get nervous. And so far, that's exactly how their books make you feel. Especially this one. Like, you definitely are nervous the whole time you're reading their books. And what a great tagline and what a great way to start off. A shout out to AMP and Panic for just kicking off their publishing lines this year with a bang and such great titles. Both of them are just crushing it, and so I'm really excited to see what they do next. And then lastly, the man, the myth, the legend, Chip Zdarsky brings us White House Robot Romance, issue 1 from Distillery. I've been waiting for this book since February. I'm not gonna lie, could not be more excited for this book to come. I knew in February when Chip Zdarsky announced it that it was going to be a pick of the week when it finally came out, and it did not disappoint me. This is about a world where we have robots who work in the White House to help protect the president. And there is a robot whose job is, his name is Service One, and he's basically like lead Secret Service guy. And he is getting to the point, like he just had some major surgery because he got shot in the line of duty, and he is back on, and he is trying to actually get back in the routine of things. And one of the things that is his job is he is actually supposed to go and test the food to make sure that nobody is like poisoning, any of the food that is going through the thing. And so in that, he gets to talk to Chef Nine, and Chef Nine is the chef in the White House, that robot also, that makes all of the food. And they have developed this like beautiful, amazing friendship. And it's just so great. And so it's so sweet and so wonderful. Well, whether it's the IT guy or whether something else is at the helm of the situation, Service One is actually set to be put out of commission, and Chef Nine learns that he's going to be retired, and he just absolutely thinks that's terrible, and he doesn't want to lose this connection that he's made with Service One. So he decides that they must run away together and build like this beautiful relationship. And it's actually just a fantastic romance story about robots. It's so good. It's funny. It's action-packed. It's got a beautiful romance. It's just got so much going on with it. And if you absolutely cannot... you can only pick up one book, grab this and just have all of the genres at once in it. It's so good. I put everything in the classroom. There's also a box from Mad Cave in there. Thank you. I'm going to fly through other books that are in stock right now. So The War #2 is out. This is from Boom Studios. We've talked about this when it was inside of Hello Darkness, which is the only reason I'm not talking about it now. But this is the Garth Ennis, Becky Cloonan story that was the last story in the first, I believe it was 6 or 8 issues of Hello Darkness. And so if you didn't get to read it in that, and you didn't necessarily want an anthology, if you just want it as single issues, you can actually grab it that way now. And they are going to be collecting that as a trade paperback because that story is so good. The Witcher, the Bear, and the Butterfly issue 3 is out. Star Trek Voyager Homecoming issue 1. We are on issue 2 of Red Shirts from Star Trek, which is awesome. They get their own book. Shantae has her own swimsuit edition from Street Fighter and the Udon universe. Doctor Strange hit issue 450, so they brought him back. New Doctor Strange title. He's no longer just Doctor Strange of Asgard. It's back to being Doctor Strange proper. Cheetah and Cheshire are still robbing the Justice League on issue 2. We've got Magic issue 9, Wolverine issue 13, Ultimate X-Men issue 19. That's insane. All New Venom is back again with issue 10, and Mary Jane as Venom is still happening, which is cool. I like it. I think it's cool that Mary Jane's got a symbiote. Because I really liked it when that happened in Ultimate Spider-Man, the cartoon, when Mary Jane got some power. Adventures of Superman, Book of L, issue 1. We've got Legacy of Vader, issue 8. Star Wars Han Solo, Hunt for the Falcon, issue 1. The Amazing Spider-Man, this is issue 975, legacy number. We are on our way to issue 1000 for Spider-Man. I knew this Lee Bermejo cover was a really sought-after cover. Spider-Man 94, issue 1. If you were a fan of the Spider-Man cartoon in the 90s, 94 specifically, they are actually doing the same thing they did with X-Men and actually giving us a comic that is going to continue that story. Resurrection Man, Quantum Karma, issue 6. Poison Ivy issue 36. I'm going to put these down for a second because I have to show you the cover of the week for me. Is Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu issue 12. Look at that beautiful thing. This thing is so wicked, awesome. This is cover of the week, hands down. It needed its own holding space for us to talk about it. And that's no, it's not Sorrentino, it's Fornes. I thought it was Sorrentino when I turned it around right now, but no, it is. That is such a cool cover. Gosh, so cool. We've got JSA issue 11, Justice League versus Kong or Godzilla versus Kong volume 2, issue 2, right? No, issue 4. Imperial War got the Exiles out this week as that crossover continues. G.I. Joe Real American Hero issue 320. We're going to do this last. Absolute Superman hit issue 11, while Absolute Green Lantern hit issue 6. Avengers issue 30. Batgirl issue 11. So excited to see Cass have a series that goes on that long. And if you didn't know, this week a big thing happened. First time since 2018, maybe? 2017? 2016, right? Because it was like right before we met. So this is the first time in almost a decade, Batman relaunched. So we got Batman #1. And not only do we have Batman #1, but we have Batman #1 written by Matt Fraction. I am so excited. I am a huge Hawkeye fan, and Matt Fraction's Hawkeye is one of my favorite Marvel stories. And so, I mean Kate Bishop Hawkeye specifically. Matt Fraction did that. It was awesome. I'm so excited to see Matt take the helm of this. Also, Jorge Jimenez on art is just going to be such a cool thing. That's going to be such a great scene for this story. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of heart in it. I cannot wait to see more. And again, shout out to Matt Fraction because he was out at Rose City Comic Con for Retailer Day this weekend too, and so I appreciate Matt and Kelly Studiconic always being there for retailers. We've got a bunch of trade paperbacks and graphic novels in stock. All Time Low has their own story with Young Renegades. This is from Z2. We've got The Wait, which is about a family cycle of love, loss, and renewal set against the beauty of mid-century America. Batman Arkham Asylum is in a compact, so $9.99. You get that Arkham Asylum story that you're hearing about all over TikTok and YouTube that you want to come out and find those issues. Guess what? DC heard ya. They were actually there before you. They put it in a compact. It's ready to go. All of the issues, $9.99. We've got Invincible Volume 11. This is issues 60 through 65 in the new compact size that Invincible's doing. And speaking of keeping up with that compact size, Juvenile came out in the more compact size. This is that full story. And then we also have the relaunch of all of the Adventure Time volumes now that they are at Oni Press, and they are also putting them in compact form. So that's really cool. This is also $9.99, and so if you're looking to get some old Adventure Time issues, you can grab them right there. Ultimate Wolverine is out. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Night Watchers. This is that whole story following Jennika defending Mutant City while the Turtles are out of town. We've got Breaklands. This is a Comixology original that Mad Cave put out, and this is godlike physics have destroyed the world. Everything's woman's brother's kidnapped. She tries to make things happen. We've got if you were here for Free Comic Book Day or at any store for Free Comic Book Day, you probably saw the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar story was put into graphic novel form. This is the graphic novel finally out, so you can celebrate the whole thing. We've got Bread and Wine. This is a tale of New York, and this is it's supposed to be a really beautiful story. I have not read it yet, but I do love that it is your classic, sketch-drawn, pen and ink kind of storytelling. I don't know how much wine is in the story, Matt. I'm just going to say that right now because Matt is always on a hunt for stories just about wine, but that is why I ordered it, because it said it in the name. And we've got Tron Download. So Disney is putting out Tron books right now to get you excited for Tron Ares, featuring a soundtrack by Nine Inch Nails. We've got some Tron books. This is going to collect the Tron original movie adaptation issues 1 and 2 and Tron the Betrayal issues 1 and 2. So if you never got to read the adaptation in comic format, this is going to be it, and this is going to get you ready. It says this is the book that sets the stage for the sequels. Or the sequel. So you want to get ready. Get ready. All right, and I'm going to open the packages first. I got a couple of mail calls. that I need to show you about. So this one came in from Mad Cave, and I never know what it is. Thank you, Anna, for whatever it is that you mail me. I just always get an email from the post office that says Anna sent me a package. So let's see what Anna sent this time. I might need a knife because it is taped up. I hate cutting things. Oh, there's a pull tab. Thanks, Anna. All right, let's see. Ooh, there's some green confetti, so something that goes with green. We've got a note that looks like... Okay. It says, the dawn is almost here. It's not that I'm nocturnal, it's just that I have work to do, and sometimes the work goes late. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's get down to it. Let's begin. There's an old jungle saying, the phantom's cold fury chills even tiger's blood. Is it true or just a myth? Some people I know always say there's only one way to find out. Well, dear diary, today I met a tiger. The jungle of Bengala, my home, with the roaring sunlight of the East African sun lighting up its 10,000 shades of green. It's an unutterably beautiful place and an unspeakably dangerous one. Monkeys leaped from the vines of the strangler fig overhead that day, their shrill cries of warning. The birds of paradise picked up the alert, calling out one of their own. Beware, beware, there are predators here. I was following the rude trail of a military surplus jeep, a scar cut into the soft loam of the forest floor, the tire track spattered with blood. Before today, I had reason to believe poachers were operating this part of the forest. Now I was sure of it. And once more, they were hunting the magnificent Bengala tiger, our natural treasure. I could not allow it. Wait a moment, I thought. Something unusual about the tracks caught my eye. This tiger came after the jeep. Men might have come here to hunt the mighty beast. Perhaps they even managed to kill one, but now there was one hunting them. I wondered if they had any idea about the silent, furious power approaching them. I wondered what kind of men they were. It takes a unique sort of strength to survive as a hunter here. The jungle tests you ceaselessly. In my experience, that strength comes from 3 possible sources: virtue, desperation, or madness. In this circumstance, I thought I could rule out virtue, but before I could consider the other options, I froze. The hair stood up on the back of my neck. The icy touch of fear was upon me. I knew it was there. I couldn't see it, but I felt it. Like a storm cloud creeping across the sky. Like a towering wave curling in the distance, rising, and then there it was, looking right at me. Its size was incredible. When those men set foot outside their shack, I thought they'd be dead in seconds. But did they deserve to be warned? And if they had been killing, if this tiger was provoked, and then I thought that I didn't know yet where the strength came from, and that they were about to be tested. All right, tiger, I thought. If they are evil men, they're all yours. And if not, with all due respect, I'll have to save them from you. Signed, the ghost who walked. Which means I know what's in this package now. It is the Phantom. The Phantom ring leaves a mark that can't be erased. And it is... The Phantom hit shelves September 24th, 2025. So, if you didn't know, The Phantom is coming out. We have copies on order. We have tons of copies on order because we are very excited about this issue. And the fact that The Phantom is back. I'm so stoked. Thank you so much, Mad Cave, for sending that our way. It's a postcard to tell us that The Phantom is coming out on September 24th. And that I already ordered it. So, but make sure you, if you do pick it up, you should always tag Mad Cave because they're always happy to see what people are picking up. All right, this is from our amazing, awesome friend Drew Edwards back in Austin, who is the creator of Halloween Man. Oh, you have a pull tab. Okay. Who's the creator of Halloween Man, which is an indie comic that has been running for 20 years. In fact, just celebrated its 20th anniversary at San Diego Comic-Con this year. Our own Matt Live has actually lettered a couple issues of Halloween Man in the past. And so, okay. What do we got? Oh, we got some posters. So if you didn't know, Halloween Man has actually been picked up by Red 5 and will actually be in trade paperback form coming to a comic shop near you. So if you are looking for it, you can actually, that will be coming soon. Please let us know. This is great. Halloween Man is the story of a guy who is fighting against all the forces of evil with the help of his beautiful partner in crime, who is actually the smartest, most scientific, most wonderful woman in the world, and we love her so much. So yeah, we've got a couple of these, so if you maybe we'll toss one the way of whoever first orders a copy of Halloween Man. And then lastly, we every year have our annual Will Eisner Spirit of Comics bookmark competition. And so we run that in the spring, the last semester of the school year, because we want people to get excited about reading and excited about art. And so we always want it to go to be a thing that celebrates what is the spirit of comics. And so we send this out to all the schools in Manatee and Sarasota counties, and open it up for pre-K all the way to high school seniors to create art. And so we've got some winners this year. Their bookmarks have been printed. They're going to be available in the store, and also we're going to take some to those schools. But this is our pre-K through second grade winner, Samantha, who designed a bookmark that talks about speaking up. It's absolutely fantastic. And Samantha is a student at Alta Vista Elementary. And so we've got that one. Our third through fifth grade winner was Kanan from Harvey Elementary, who did this really fantastic drawing of Dogman and friends reading some books. We knew the third through fifth grade would have some Dogman in it, but that was just so fantastic. Then our sixth through eighth grade winner from the Manatee School from the Arts is Ellie, who did this fantastic drawing of all these different characters and talks about just the power of comics in storytelling, like in there. Such a cool bookmark. And then we have our high school winner, which was Nathalia, who also went to Manatee School for the Arts, and this is such a beautiful, bright and bold book. The fact that this is like crayon colored too is that's great work on coloring that. And then lastly, we have our best in show, who is Natalie from Rowlett Middle School. And this is a fantastic bookmark showcasing a young girl who goes into a comic book store, and all of a sudden the magical worlds are available to her, and she reaches out her hand and gets to meet all of her favorite characters. Just absolutely 100% the spirit of comics, completely and totally personified, and with great art. So congratulations to all of our winners. Again, these will be available for free at the store, so you can come and get your own Spirit of Comics 2025 winning bookmarks. And if you are any of those people and you're watching this, come by. We'll give you copies for your family. And so that's all we have for you tonight. Don't forget, this Wednesday at 6:30 is a zine night, bat theme zine night. Come make some cool zines with Katie. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thursday night at 7 o'clock is book club. We're talking about Snot Girl issue 1. Saturday 11:30 and 3:30 are comic creation workshops for the kids. Bring them out. All of those events are free as always. And don't forget to put September 27th on your calendar for local comic shop day and our zine fest and Badiversary. We will see you on Wednesday for New Comic Book Day. Until then, happy reading, everyone.